Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to Life with Usi. I welcome you. So, today we are kicking off a brand new series. It's called Core Identity Getting Back to Self. I'm excited about it. The series will be a 3-part episode. It's about coming back home, about coming back home to self. Here, we're going to be carefully peeling back the layers of labels, trauma labels, success labels, failure labels that life places on us. And we're going to rediscover who we are and who we were before all those labels. I know that this has been probably done before. Reinvent yourself, do this, that, and that. But however, with this episode, with this series, we're going to get deep. We're going to do the heavy work that is necessary, work that is beyond affirmations, affirming to yourself and nothing sticking on. So, if you're ready, stay with me. Our first episode for this series is titled When Labels Replace Truth. We know that labels are everywhere. They are part of life. They are part of social status. They are a part of our identity. Some we are given by parents, some labels we're given by peers, by our teachers growing up, by family members. And some labels, unfortunately, some labels are self-proclaimed and almost without even realizing it. An everyday label would be labels that we use to introduce ourselves by titles. I'm a manager at A, B, and C. I'm a student. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. So those are some labels that are not really heavy. They're just everyday labels. And while these titles can describe what we do, there are those labels that are kind of dangerous for us to carry. Labels shaped by pain, labels such as I'm broken, I'm unlovable, I'm damaged, I'm depressed. And one that we normally throw around, I'm an anxious person, I'm anxious. And we also have labels shaped by pressure. You are a failure if you don't finish this. You are a failure if you didn't achieve this. And we have labels shaped by regret that we perceive upon ourselves. At some point, these words stop being descriptions and start becoming our self-beliefs, start becoming what we believe about ourselves, whether it is just an everyday ordinary title, I'm a mom, or it's a label caused by trauma, I'm anxious, I'm antisocial. These labels start becoming our identity. And at first, labels can feel somewhat helpful. They give us structure, right? They give us identity, even a sense of belonging. I know I belong to this type of people, this type of personalities because I'm like this, right? But over time, they can replace your truth. They can blind you to the reality that you are more than your experiences. You are more than your failures. You are more than your achievements. You are more than your trauma. You are more than your struggles. And here's the thing, the more you live by these labels, the more you drift away from your core identity. And we'll call those labels identity markers, right? Because sometimes people perceive you because of how you show up. And how you show up normally comes from what you've experienced, what you have not experienced, what you know, what you don't know, who you are socially, who you're not. Let's touch on trauma briefly. We know that trauma can sometimes become a whole identity, which can be partly valid because sometimes trauma does shape how we perceive the world, right? And sometimes we go, this is who I am because A, B, and C happened to me. This is how I react. These are my trauma responses, right? And we go around wearing this like a permanent badge. And this is the same with failures as well. Sometimes one setback becomes a whole life sentence in our mind. We start replaying a failure over and over again until it quietly becomes a response of, I'm not good enough. I'll stop trying for new things because I'm a failure. And trust me, I've been there. There has been times when I looked at myself and felt completely defined by my trauma, by the labels that people placed on me when I was growing up, by the things that I've experienced that I will never be able to say them out loud without crying. And I remember taking this as my own identity and thinking, this is who I am. This is all I can be. And in that moment, the labels do feel like a part of your identity. Meekness, disguised as being shy, did feel like a part of my identity. And maybe somewhere in the background, still does. It felt easier to accept them than to step into the truth that God was trying to show me. But slowly, God started whispering to me, started whispering that I am not any of those labels. I am not my trauma. I am not the social identities. He wrote my identity before I was even born. He knows my true identity. Breaking free from those labels isn't about denying your story or denying where you come from. It's about choosing truth. It's about choosing God's truth, choosing your truth over the world's definitions about you. So let's start here. And I say this as someone on this journey with you. Let's start by taking a huge step back. Big step back. You must be able to see the gap between yourself and the identity markers, because this is going to be heavy. I need you to do this with me because I guarantee you it will be worth it. So take a step back and begin reclaiming your core identity. Here are some ways to start reclaiming your true self. First, identify the labels. You cannot attack what you don't know now. You cannot address what you don't know. You need to address it by name. So, we're going to write things down. Pen, paper, journal. We're writing things down. So, write down what has defined you, what currently defines you. We're writing labels you carried from your past, labels you adopted from other people's opinions about you, labels you adopted from childhood and parent pressure. I need you to write those down. Mine were and still are, oh, she's shy, she's quiet, right? Which caused me to be meek, to be antisocial, to be non-responsive when I needed to be. Another good one was, oh, she's so nice. She's the nicest person I've ever met. This sounds like a good thing, right? No, it's not. This led me to be a huge people pleaser. And I trained myself to self-abandon because I needed to appear nice. I needed to be agreeable. So I need you to write yours down. The list should not be shaming you, should not be judgmental, should just be truthful. Second step is to test these labels against truth. So, how we do this is with the labels and those identity markers you have written down, you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. 1, does this actually reflect who I am or just who I learned to be? Sometimes in order to survive. 2, does this label support my growth or does it keep me stuck in who I used to be? 3, third one is, does it feel honest to me? Does this label feel honest to me? Or does it feel familiar because it's comfortable? I know with me, being nice was a way of survival. It was very comfortable because I avoided a lot of you avoid a lot of, backlash, a lot of confrontation, a lot of stuff when you're the nice person, fake nice, fake humble. And it was comfortable. It was comfortable because confronting people scared me. It scared me. So I know that this label has not been honest. It has not been an honest identity about who I really am. And if you're someone who believes in God, who believes in the mighty Lord, our Savior, you can gently take it one step further and ask yourself, does this label, does this identity marker align with how God sees me, how God has actually marked me? Or is it just a story you've learned to survive? Because let me tell you this, not everything you've learned about yourself is true. Not everything your parents have told you about yourself is true. Some of it was necessary at the time because You needed to survive, and maybe your parents, that's what they only knew. But there comes a point where it's expired. It no longer belongs to who you're becoming. So, release what was never yours. Here's something we don't talk about enough. You are allowed to outgrow an identity. You are allowed to outgrow your old self. It is okay to shed labels that once protected you but now limit you. It is also okay to release versions of yourself that were built in survival and not truth. You can let them go. Give yourself permission to let them go. I also encourage you to write things down as much as you can. Not to analyze them, but to witness them, to witness the change, to witness who you were and who you're becoming. Let yourself see the patterns, the stories you've told yourself, the stories others told you about yourself, the names you've been carrying, the weight you've been carrying that you no longer want to carry anymore. And whether you pray, you journal, sit in silence, or simply reflect, I need you to do one of these. Ask for clarity. Ask to see yourself clearly, without fear, without shame, without judgment, but with a mind to change, to rewire. For me, that meant asking God to show me how He truly sees me, what He has written down about me. And I know sometimes it might be hard because I am this 30-year-old plus. And now you're telling me I'm not all of these things. How do I change all of that? But we need to start. We need to do the work. Or else we're just going to stay as we are. I need to know who I am beneath all of this. Who I am without those labels, without my trauma, without the setbacks. Replacing all stories with the truth. Here's the part that requires gentleness. You don't replace a lie by shouting over it or by sweeping it under the rug. You replace it by choosing a truer story and repeating it until it settles. Keynote: repeat, repeat, show up over and over in your new truth. And here's the thing about truth. Truth doesn't rush you. Truth doesn't judge you, doesn't shame you. Truth feels steady. So instead of those mindless affirmations that feel forced, start with ones that feel possible. Start with rewriting your patterns. Start with maybe the thought of, I'm allowed to change. I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm allowed to adopt a new persona, one that serves me. Start with this. I am more than my past. I am learning who I really am. I am worthy of a fuller life. And again, if faith is part of your journey or becoming part of it, you can hold into this too. So I will leave you with something to reflect on, journal on, meditate on. I need you to reflect on this. What is one truth about you that you will hold on to this week? One truth about yourself that you will hold on to this week. Can be a truth that it can be something that you desire to be a truth, or something that you know in your core is true about yourself. And I need you to reflect on that, write it down, meditate on it. And on the next episode, we'll be exploring a topic that talks about when there's no room to be whole, because sometimes environments can limit us. Life can push us into fragments of ourselves, and we start claiming being small instead of living fully to the person that we're meant to be, instead of claiming wholeness, instead of claiming truth. We've been talking about truth throughout this episode. So until next time, be gentle with yourself. Speak truth over yourself, over your life. And remember that you are more than all these labels. You are God's beloved. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Until next time, please do share it with someone who might need it.